studying at the University of Santa Clara, which is taught by Jesuit priests. And they're the backbone of the Roman Catholic Church. So, but I needed chemistry, and I love chemistry. So I was getting good grades, very good grades in it. And Dr. Schmoltz, who was a professor, had 160 students in the secular university, which was San Jose University, now university. And I was getting good grades, but he had a large lab session, and there were people that were going to flunk it. And so he said, why don't you help me with this? You're getting good grades, you love it. I want you to be contagious with these people. So I went and I helped him. He gave me these people, that probably about 17 or 19 were going to flunk. But because of my exuberance and everything, well, they all passed. They all passed. But among them, there was this young girl, and she was graduating from San Jose Bible College, which is only right across the street from the San Jose University, right across the street. They were meeting in a old 3 or 4 story building. That's where the first San Jose Bible College began. And so she was there, and she wanted to go on to nurses training, be a registered California nurse. And she got A's in everything except chemistry. So I helped them all. She was among them. But she had trouble with one lab session that we had. And so I walked her off campus and explaining it to her. And as I was explaining it, I found myself talking to myself, and I turned around and saw her in the walkway there looking down. And I walked back, about maybe 8 steps. And I walked back and I said, what's wrong? And she said, she raised her eyes and looked at me right in the eye. She says, you're a Roman Catholic, aren't you? And I sputtered and said, well, yeah, so what's that got to do with it, He said, do you know you're going to hell? Pow! Right between the head, right between the eyes. It shook me up. And I said, here I am. I had already graduated. I was graduating from a secular university, and this little girl tells me that I'm going to hell. So I knew enough of my religion to counter her and say, well, I think we're the only ones going to heaven. Have you ever read the Bible? No, I don't have to. The priests read the Bible, and they tell us what it means. And so, oh, you can't. You're not intelligent enough to understand what you read. Is that right? So she challenged me. And of course, all my life I'd been challenged by one thing or another. So I said, well, how would you like to study the Bible? She said, okay, I'll bring you a Bible. I said, okay, fine, but I want a Catholic Bible. She brought me a Catholic Bible. That started a year of studying the Bible 2 and 3 times a week in the evening, sometimes till 3 in the morning. And because I knew logic and rhetoric, I would take truth and twist it around my finger, because I was learning how to do that in secular business and secular study at the University of Santa Clara. And so I found it easy to twist up truth, made truth lies and lies truth, because I was studying for that. So as a result, a lot of times she'd go home crying. But after about 6 months, 7 months, all of a sudden I said, who am I kidding? I read that and I can understand it. I know what it's saying, and it's talking to me, And so I realized that I was fooling myself, and what I was reading was true. And I go to the priest and ask him for some teaching on this thing, and he'd say he was a Jesuit, and they're arrogant priests. They're usually they're exceptional brain-wise. They were all geniuses, and very arrogant because of it. So they'd say, "Oh, now you stop, you throw that Bible away, and you stop meeting with that little girl." I said, "That can't be true. Am I a dummy or something? I can understand that book. talks about a person named Jesus. And so I start listening to her, and I start applying it to my life. And after a year, she had finished her training, and she was going to go on to Oakland, California, to a school to learn how to be a nurse, registered nurse, California registered nurse, 3-year course. And she went to school, and I had no contact with her then. But by that time, I had started to make my decision. The last thing I held on to was Mary, the Mother of God. And I said, and so Don DeWilt talked to me from the Bible college, recommended by her. And I said, well, I have as much capability to handle this thing, so I'll talk to him. But he knew a lot about it. He was a converted Catholic, and he was a teacher at San Jose Bible College. So he told me, well, Brother Gil, I went through the same thing. Now, does God have a mother? Can that be true? Well, she's the mother of Jesus. She has that baby in her arms, and that's why you see her in statues that we have, idols that we have in our church. See? She's the main one. And so he took me through a logical sequence of reasoning, and I said, you know, you're right. And my dependency is not on her to take me to God. I'm dependent on God and His Son, Jesus Christ. I've already read the Gospels, and I can see that. So then I made a decision to be baptized.